Hello, this is Adam with DreamMade Productions. This video is made possible by the very kind donations of viewers like you. Thank you. If you are in a position to help this channel improve quality and grow, please visit my Patreon page at www.patreon.com/DreamMadeProductions, linked below.
It is the 31st century, and mankind is once again at war. The battlefields of the future are dominated by huge robotic war machines known as battlemechs.
I'm sure you've noticed by now that I tend to stick to a particular time in the BattleTech universe. There are several reasons for this, but primarily it's because it's what I have the most of and what I'm the most comfortable with. There are those people out there that love their one corner of BattleTech and flat refuse to leave it. Despite appearances, I'm not one of those people. I love BattleTech, all of it. Sure, there are parts that I like better than others, but in the end, I'll play in any game, anytime, any time period. With that in mind, I thought I would talk a little about the various time periods in BattleTech, my experiences in them, and ultimately my opinion of them as of today. Hey, things change, so I may change my mind as I play more. First thing to go over is the time periods in BattleTech. I'm sure most players have seen these symbols before. I'm not exactly sure when they showed up, but I've seen these little guides since I returned to BattleTech with the first Catalyst box. First, we have the Star League era, followed by the Secession Wars, the Clan Invasion, the Civil War era, the Jihad, the Dark Age, and I guess the upcoming Ill Clan era. Frankly, I've never liked these divisions. They were just not detailed enough. So I created my own eras when I started classifying equipment for my campaign rules. To Catalyst's credit, they have expanded these out, and now Catalyst's more detailed era list is fairly close to what I developed. Still, all these divisions are subjective, so I'll talk more in general terms, blending what I came up with and what Catalyst uses without giving dates or any bullshit like that. World War II. Okay, I know this is kinda bullshit, but thanks to their 2013 April Fool's Day joke, I get to include this. I do feel it says a lot about BattleTech that a game from the early 80s is a strong enough system that it can play out battles between spaceships shooting nuclear weapons at each other, all the way down to some good old Panzer versus Sherman action. I can say I've never actually talked anyone into playing it with me. I can't really blame anyone. There are far better World War II minigames out there. Still, it was fun to download this thing for free, and clearly some effort went into its creation. The Age of War and early Star League. The Age of War is an interesting setting, but for tabletop, it has largely the same problem as World War II. Without the stompy robots, it's just a modern warfare tabletop game. It could be fun, but the first battlemech really signals the end to this era. Some battles with the first battlemechs against tanks and infantry could be fun, but I've never gotten the chance to find out. A fascinating time frame for lore. I lump in the early Star League with the Age of War to make the time period more appealing. Playing battles of tanks versus primitive battlemechs is fun, and gave me a liking for the primitives. It's also nice to have advanced, intro-level mechs thrown in there for good measure. I have played a few games with both only primitive mechs and a mix of primitive mechs and intro or level 1 mechs. It can be a lot of fun, and I would like to explore this time period a little more. The late Star League and the Great War. At least to my knowledge, Catalyst still lumps all of the Star League into a single era. As I noted before, I think there should be a breakdown. The forces used in the Star League Civil War, or the Ameris Crisis, or Great War, as I refer to it. I'm sure it goes by dozens, if not hundreds, of names. This late period is a fun time to play in. You have advanced technology as well as forces in massive sizes. I make the excuse that anything can be available in this time period, even stuff from much later in BattleTech. You can throw down almost any piece of tech and call it a prototype. I've played for both the SLDF and Ameris, and both are a lot of fun. The lore from this area is immensely important going forward. It is a great era to play in, and is one of my favorites. The early Secession Wars. Originally, Catalyst lumped all of the Secession Wars together into a single era. Now, they split them up, which makes a lot more sense. The early Secession Wars seem like a fun time to play in, but I think a specialized game is needed. So many WMDs are flying everywhere, I feel like we need a reskin of the 1965 card game, Nuclear War. Battlemechs might be the king of the battlefield, but once nukes fall like rain, it kinda changes the game. I played one game in the early Secession Wars, and it was not very different than the late Star League. I'd really like some kind of WMD game for this era. The late Secession Wars. The late Secession Wars is the classic period in BattleTech. It is the first setting and remains a lot of people's favorite. With technology restricted to basically just intro or level 1 tech, makes it ideal for bringing in new players. It is simple and works well as an introduction. Like most people my age, I've played more games in this era than any other. It remains one of my favorites, and there are ways of spicing things up if you get bored. Just adding in binary lasers and superchargers can add a lot to the game. 3039 or the Renaissance. Again, Catalyst originally jumped from the Secession Wars to the Clan Invasion when there was something in between that needed more detail. The experimental dead end and rediscoveries brought on by the Helm Memory Core made a very interesting time that needed its own era. I absolutely love this era. You have much more variety of equipment without it becoming overwhelming to new or inexperienced players. And as a lover of weird shit, you can go even further if you include all the experimental, prototype, and dead-end tech. EW gear, LK missiles, mixed heat sinks. That shit makes me smile. The early Clan Invasion. Catalyst still lumps the full Clan Invasion into a single era, but I disagree. I understand why, but I think it should be broken into two eras. The early Clan Invasion for me runs from the first battle on the Rock until Tukiad, while my inner weirdo loves the Renaissance era. Lore, and on the tabletop, this is my favorite period to play in. What can I say? There is just something about these heroic last stands that I find appealing. Again, I've played on both sides. While I don't have many clan mechs in my collection, plenty of people have asked me to join them in conquering the free births. I do enjoy the extra challenge of clan honor. On the other side, I love using ad hoc intersphere forces to try holding back the clan tsunami. I hope to play more in this era. Soon. The late Clan Invasion. The time after Tukiad is a fun time to play in, but for me, it starts getting taxing. I loved MechWarrior 3, and the extermination of Smoke Jaguar holds a special place for me because of MechWarrior 3. In a way, this is the end of BattleTech for me. The Inner Sphere more or less united, and the clans fought to an uneasy peace. My BattleTech gaming ended at this time, and, for whatever reason, the storyline had a good ending at the same time. Don't get me wrong, I'm glad the story continued, but for a long time, this is where my story and the BattleTech's diverged. Maybe I'm biased, but if the story has to end, this is a good enough place. The Fedcom Civil War. I can honestly say that the events around the Fedcom Civil War, for me at least, only exists in MechWarrior 4. I've never played in this era, and I own very little from it. It's not that it was intentional or anything, but I was busy trying to get my life in order when this was the storyline. The technology also starts to get too much for me. So much equipment it becomes hard to keep it all straight. Don't get me wrong, I love to play, but if we play in this time period, it's where I'm going to be asking, okay, what does that do? Like, a lot. The Jihad. I know the Jihad is something of a controversial topic. I, for one, don't mind the Jihad. The religious upheaval seems logical. For a while, the clans were cast as the bad guys, and although they worked fairly well in that role, it never quite fit the best. With the Jihad, Catalyst went all in the evil douche faction. I have played exactly one game against the Word of Blake. I had no idea what half their equipment did, but it was still a lot of fun. The Republic and the Dark Age. Catalyst splits these two, and I do think that is the correct move. The two are very different. The one because of the Dark Age clicky tech game that I've never played, so I can't say much about it, other than the minis seem detailed, at least the ones I've seen. I combine the two here because I just can't say that much about them. I've never played from this period. I have nothing from this period. I hope one day that my collection gets big enough and my gaming time abundant enough that I get to fully experience these eras. But as of now, I just haven't gotten the opportunity to explore much. The Ill Clan. Catalyst's upcoming, seemingly soft reboot has promise. I hope one day I can catch up and read and play and enjoy this upcoming setting. I'm not sure exactly what I'm hoping for in all this. I look forward to seeing what Catalyst comes up with, even if my wallet shudders at the thought. Well, I thought I would talk a little about the different eras of BattleTech. I've met all kinds, from those that want to play only the latest and greatest, to those begrudgeons who accept only 3025 and refuse anything before or after. I love BattleTech, and if I could, I would have it all. But you know, budgets and real life often gets in the way. At some point, I'll share some more about my collection and collecting strategy. I have my favorites, but ultimately, you can't go wrong with BattleTech. From the mid-20th century to the mid-32nd century. Pick a time frame that sounds interesting. You will have fun. And as always, I hope you enjoy the battle reps that are to come. Hello, this is Adam with DreamMade Productions. Thank you for watching my content. It really means a lot that you have given me the chance to entertain you. If you would like to support the channel, please visit my Patreon at patreon.com/DreamMadeProductions, linked below. Also below is a link for PayPal, or links if you would like to send crypto, if that's more your thing. Please know any amount that you give will be cherished and used to upgrade equipment and improve the channel. You can also help the channel by subscribing, turning on notifications, liking, commenting, and sharing my channel with anyone you think might be interested. Thank you again for watching, and I hope you enjoy the battle reps that are to come.